And welcome back to Hand Collectibles for a Fanhome review of the Fast and Furious Skyline, Brian Skyline from Too Fast, Too Furious. And this will be the assembly and review of the first two issues. And as you can see, with every Fanhome issue, you get the parts to be assembled for every issue, and you get a booklet for every issue. And you can just have a flick through the booklet and see it's got lots of interesting information. It'll give you a lot of specs on the actual model. This is a 1/8 scale model Skyline, so as you can see, it tells you get remote to activate the lights. It's got working lights inside, working lights on the underside, working indicators, working front lights. So there's a lot of cool stuff with this one. Very much like the Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious. A lot of working lights and sounds. And that completes the information booklet around the model itself. Now you do get, with every issue, an information booklet, and as I do the assembly guide, we'll have a stick through them and see what information you get in them as well. Here we have issue 1 and 2, and we'll start to assemble. So you get obviously the front bumper assembled for issue 1, and then I think it's right wheel assembled for issue 2. So we'll start to make our way through the assembly, and we'll see how easy it is to put together. And here we have issue 1, assembly part 1. So obviously you get your magazine with your assembly guide at the back, and then you get your assembly parts. So you get your front bumper, you get a screwdriver as well, which is handy to put it all together if you don't already have one. You get your screws, you get your insert for your front grille, indicators left and right, and then the GTR badge to man in the front. Now we'll just have a look through the booklet and see what information that gives you. And as you can see, it gives you a bit about the streets of America and the GTR on the streets, a bit about the general history of the GTR, a bit about the man in the GTR, which is obviously around Too Fast, Too Furious, which is what made this an iconic movie car. A bit about Nismo, which is kind of the tuning company, I think, for Skyline and Nissan. A bit about the glory generations, and you get your assembly guide. So without further ado, let's crack on, let's put this together. And here we have stage 1 of the build, and this is the front grille that sits inside the bumper. So as you can see, you get your metal grille and you get your GTR badge. So you want to take your GTR badge and insert it into the grille. This just pushes in with a bit of pressure. The two dowels in the back of the GTR badge pass straight through the metal grille in the centre. As you can see, there's 2 holes in the centre of the grille. So we'll just be careful, because the grille is metal. You don't want to bend it out of shape, because it needs to sit flush, obviously, to the back of the bumper. And we'll just get the GTR badge, and then with a bit of pressure, push the 2 dowels right through the grille, and 2 holes in the grille. And there we have it, the GTR badge inserted into the grille. Just be careful, because the badge is plastic. You don't want to snap the dowels off the back of the badge, and the grille is metal, and you don't want to bend it kind of out of shape, because obviously it fits into the back of the bumper. As you can see, there's 2 screw holes on the top and 2 screw holes on the bottom, which on the next stage we'll screw it into the back of the bumper. Alright, let's move on to that. Here we have stage 2 of the build of the assembly parts, and on this stage 2 we're putting the inner grille with the GTR badge, and we're inserting it into the back of the bumper, and we'll do that with our screwdriver that came with the build. Thank you, Fanhome. That's always a nice touch if you don't already have one. And some SM screws, so it's be 4 SM screws, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, and we'll screw this into the back of the bumper. So we'll turn the grille over and we'll have a look at the other side. As you can see, there's 2 screw holes in the top and 2 screw holes in the bottom. And, just be careful when you line the grille up that your GTR badge is up the right way. I think the 2 holes at the top are slightly closer together than the 2 at the bottom. I think that's how I was telling. And as I get the screws out, I'm going to insert the first SM screw into the right hand side at the top. And they do go in quite easy, and just be careful not to over tighten them, just go tight enough just so it holds it nice and flush. We'll just put the bottom one on the left hand side in. And that one's done now. and then we'll mount the next screw in as well. We'll put this one on the top on the left hand side. Screw that in, like I say, don't over tighten them. You'll be able to see, if you line the screw up in line with your eye, you'll be able to see how tight to go to get it to look nice and flush, which is kind of what I've done here. So I've just screwed them in tight enough, and then I've just gone, so they're nice and flush, I've just tightened them after, just so I can see with my eye. You can see the gap between the grille and the bumper, just to get them nice and tight. Here we go, we'll just insert the last screw. You can see the gap there disappearing just as I do them up tight. And there we go. Just make sure, give them more double check. And there we go. Wheel inserted. You know, and you can see how iconic it looks with the GTR badge in it. And that's that stage complete. And we'll move on to the next stage now. And here we are with the next stage of the assembly. And on this stage we are going to be inserting the left and right indicators into the bumper. As you can see, you get a left and right indicator mount, and as you can see there's two stubs on the back, and with a bit of pressure they insert into the two holes that are in the bumper where the indicators go. As you can see, you just push them in, line them up, and then with a bit of pressure you can push them directly straight through, so they sit nice and flush on the inside. Then you just get your indicator lens. There's a bit of curvature to it, so make sure you got them on the right way round. And then they're just pushing nice and flush. As you can see, quite easy to do. No screws for this part. All you've got to do is push them with a little bit of force. Now we'll move on to the left hand side indicator. As you can see, same process. Line the little stubs up with the holes on the back of the bumper. Get them in, and you'll be able to see as I push it in. You can just feel it as they just pop through the holes in the back of the bumper. That's it, lined up, pushed in. As you can see, they sit a little bit further back once they're pushed in, so you know they're firmly in. We'll just get the indicator lens now as well. Like I say, there's a bit of curvature to it, so make sure you got them on the right way round. And then just push that on as well. Sorry, I've mine up the wrong way round, I think. Just be careful, make sure you got them the right way round. They go on quite easy when you get them the right way round. As you can see, that's the assembly of the bumper complete. Some really nice touches. You know, paintwork's really good on it. A lot of people are moaning about the colour on the bumper, but I think that's correct to the actual car. It's blue at the back and it's like a light purple at the front. I think it fades. It's got some side grills on the bumper, but they were already fitted, so you didn't have to bother fitting them. Obviously the iconic Turbo Technics and the K&N kind of transfers are already on there. So we'll move on to the next part of the build. And here we have issue 2 and assembly parts. As you can see, this is the right wheel assemble, and you get your booklet as well. We'll have a quick flip through the booklet. So a bit about the GTR specialised body. As you can see, the different types of the GTR. A bit about, is the Nissan Skyline a good investment? I would probably think it is now. And a bit about pre-war races. You get a lot of information in these books, and obviously at the back of the book you get your assembly guide for the front right wheel. As you can see, front and back, and then how it all goes together with the screws. So let's move on and assemble this. Here we have the tyre and the inner alloy insert. you kind of just insert into the inside of the tyre. There's a part for the front and a part from the back. You have to make sure you've got your tyre on the right way around, because it says right on the tyre, and that is the side of the tyre that you want facing you. As you can see, you just, with a bit of pressure, just push this into the tyre, and there you go. Make sure it sits nice and flush. And as you can see, quite easy to do. Turn it over, because now we're going to take the other insert and insert that into the other side of the wheel. As you can see, same sort of thing, this one's slightly deeper. So we'll push this in, make sure you line the whole brackets up with the front and back part. So when you push it in, they're lined up for the screws to pass right through the front and back section of the alloy. As you can see, nice and lined up. It's nice and flush with the tyre. I'm ready for the next part to be inserted in. So obviously the next part of this now is to insert the front of the alloy using the screws that you get. And I think the screws pass right through the holes in both sections, right into the back of the alloy front plate. As you can see, the BM screws. Take the first one out and we'll get the alloy front plate, which looks very cool. I did notice on mine I had like some rubbing, I think where it was sitting in the packaging and moving about on the alloy. You can see that there. I'll probably pick that up with Fanhome after for their quality control, and but we'll carry on with this at the moment, the assembly guide, and I'll do that bit after. As you can see, there's 3 holes on the front plate. You line them up with the alloy, and the screws will pass directly right through all 3 parts and connect them all together. So we'll get the first screw, turn the alloy over, line the holes up, and then push the screw right through. Be careful, like, don't do them up too tight, because you will strip the thread right out of the hole. So just tight enough so it keeps all 3 sections together nice and sealed tightly. Always do mine up a little tight, not too tight, and then once I've got all 3 of them in, I'll go around and I'll just double check them all. And just put the last screw in. So it screws all 3 sections together nice and tightly. And there you go. Alloy wheel sits nice and flush. Some iconic wheels for the iconic Skyline, like I say. Low profile tyres. Quite wide tyres as well. Like I say, just double check them, just do them all right. If you do have problems like getting the screw in, you can use like a little bit of oil just to smoothen the process of putting the screw in the hole. And there we go. Assembly part near enough complete. As you can see, you've got a couple of extra last bits with the build. Obviously you've got the studs, which will pass directly through the alloy, but that's for a later stage, and then you get the centre cap as well. Some nice details on the centre cap. Fanhome are really good at ticking this box for the details. They really are, but we'll put them to side for the next part of the build. And that is issue 2 complete. And here we are, the assembly parts together, the front bumper assembly and the right wheel assembly. Really easy to do, really easy to assemble. You know, really good instruction guides. You know, if you do struggle, you know, obviously there are a lot of YouTubers with videos out there on how to put together, but also Fanhome on their website doing an instruction assembly video that you can watch that as well. So wait until the next episode. I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.